So welcome to today's show. We are with a Celtic and Scotland super legend, Frank McAvennie. How you doing, Frank? Welcome to the show.
All right. I'm all right, boys. It's very good. Nice to be on.
Great to have you on, Frank. Great to have you on.
Jerry and I are excited about this. I've actually been at a wee do that you've been speaking at before, and I think we could take 5 hours, and that'll get you by the age of 13.
Yeah, just talking about that do.
So Frank, give us a wee bit of a bio, a wee bit of a history about yourself and the clubs you played for, and then we'll get on to what you're doing now.
I've played, I've been all the, started at St Mirren, went to West Ham, went to Celtic, back to West Ham, played a couple of games for Aston Villa, and then went to Hong Kong, and then came back and signed. I came back to sign for Partick Thistle, got my photo took in the centre circle at Firhill, and Liam Brady phoned me and asked me to come back to Celtic. So I hadn't signed at that time, so I said, yeah. So, of course, Partick Thistle weren't too happy about that. I went and signed for Celtic again and finished with St Mirren. So I played for all my 3 clubs twice. And, of course, I've had my stint over in Cliftonville, so that was brilliant. It was a long story, I think I've told you guys, but I was supposed to, they wanted me to play on a semi-final, which is on a Tuesday, so I'm in London. They came over to chat to me, and I says, I can't, I'm going to Hong Kong on the Friday. The deal was done. And they says, well, the game's on the Tuesday. And I says, yeah, but I can't, how can you do that? So my agent and the guy that ran Cliftonville came up with this idea. The minimum you can sign is a month. So I signed for a month on a Monday. Flew over on a Tuesday, played for Cliftonville on a Tuesday. Got to the final. Had a good night in Belfast. Flew back on a Wednesday, and Cliftonville released me on a Wednesday, which meant I could go to Hong Kong on a Friday.
Absolutely brilliant.
Brilliant. I know. It was good fun. I got pulled down for the penalty, so I made up for it. We got through.
It was brilliant. I was at the match. You won 2-1.
Yes.
I think you set one on up.
That's it.
Jerry actually played for Cliftonville as well, Frank.
What's that?
Yeah. Jerry played for Cliftonville.
Were you there?
Yeah, I signed just after you'd been there, Frank, and I ended up winning the league in '98 with them. I spent 7 years at Cliftonville. Yeah.
Brilliant. See the influence I bring to the team.
Yeah. Me and Colin would have supported them as boys.
Well done.
Yeah.
I have to say, Frank, you give me some of my best memories of my life.
Thank you.
1988, double winning team, and 2 goals you scored against Rangers. Talk us a wee bit about that, Frank.
Well, it was hard for me because, you know, me being a Celtic boy, my dad, I used to go to the games with my dad and uncle, and sometimes we'd go with a couple of priests. My dad was looked after the church and all that, and so I was a proper Celtic supporter, as you can imagine. And when I signed for Celtic, it was a dream come true. And the last thing it was only 4 games into my contract, and we went to Ibrox. The last thing the manager said to me was, don't get involved. 14 minutes later, I was sent off. I was charged with inciting a riot and breach of the peace. Don't get involved. It's brilliant. The manager Big Billy kept reminding me of that. So I thought I'd let everyone down. So when it came round again, 2nd of January 1988, I've never focused so much on one game. I really did. I thought, as I say, my dad gave me stick, and even though it wasn't my fault to get sent off, but he gave me stick, and I was a wee bit annoyed because I thought I'd let everyone down. Luckily, we should have beat them, you know, to be honest with you, but I didn't. They're all saying, oh, it was a great game, and I'm saying, I don't know, I was in the dressing room 14 minutes, I seen. So that was all right. 2nd of January, went out, and it was the first time we had to shake hands. You know, all that nonsense to show that we're all together and all that kind of nonsense. And I'm shaking hands with everyone, saying, I know them all. You know, I'm saying, you're getting it, all that kind of stuff. And it was an absolute farce, all shaking hands and then waving to the crowd. And I just wanted the game to start. And of course, we absolutely pummeled them. And if you remember that Rangers team, I mean, they had some wonderful players. Mark Walters, it was his first game. Mark Walters, they still had David Cooper, Trevor Francis, Ray Wilkins, they had Souness, Butcher, Roberts, Woods, I mean, Stevens. The list is, plus the homegrown players like McCoist and Durant and all them. It was unbelievable. But Bullis organised a team, Big Caesar McGaffer. He organised a team full of Celtic supporters, or you know, ones that could be easily persuaded to be Celtic supporters. The majority of the team were all dyed-in-the-wool Celtic supporters, and that's why we got by that season. So we absolutely battered them. And when you've got a player like Paul McStay on your side, you know, anything can happen. So as a centre forward, to have a player like him behind you was sensational. He knew when I was coming short. I mean, you guys won't know, when you come short, sometimes you're coming short, you're just coming short to take the defender away so that somebody can get in behind you and all that kind of stuff. Paul knew what I was doing. He knew when I was coming short, didn't want it. He knew when I wanted it. And sometimes I'd come short and he would just do that. And that was my cue, just spin it. It means there's nobody over the top, and he would just put it over the top for me. And there's not many people would catch me. So he was a wonderful player. So probably the best pass in football that I've seen, when he turned Souness and everyone else out to play in again and put the ball through to Chris Morris, put it across. And believe it or not, Andy Walker's behind me shouting, "Leave it." It was unbelievable. But I never, obviously, put it in. And then it started into the whole happy birthday Celtic and all that. And it was, for a Celtic supporter, I mean, you guys, I forget about being a player, for a supporter, that's, the whole place erupted. And then when I scored the second one, they just didn't. You know, they just didn't. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I told Wee Durante, it was a free kick, and Wee Durante's marking me. I said, "You've got no chance." Wee Durante, what a wonderful player, but he couldn't jump. So I knew I had him. And that was it. I won the header and made it 2-0. Again, the stadium erupted. So it was special for a boy, you know, who was brought up as a Celtic supporter. It was really special. Never forget that day. Never, ever. I was watching it 10 minutes ago before you come online. Somebody's posted it on Twitter again. So.
I've watched it a few times at night with a couple of beers in me too, I'll tell you.
Oh, I tell you what. I mean, I remember, the fun people say they remember the goals and all that, but the funniest thing for me was Tommy Burns. You know, Tommy's crying, you know, he's seen 100 years, people remember us. But the funniest thing for me was when that Maggie Thatcher was trying to give Tommy the base of the cup, which is the heavy part.
Yeah.
Tommy's going, "I don't want it." He wouldn't take it off. He's going, "Nah, it's too heavy." She's going, "No, you're going to take it." He's going, "Nah, bollocks to that." So that was the funniest thing. Seeing Tommy arguing with Maggie, that was brilliant.
Class.
It was a good day, as you can imagine. It was a good day.
You actually must be reading my mind, because I was going to ask you, how good a player was Paul McStay?
Oh, God. In my eyes, he was world class. You know, I was fortunate to play with Ken Dalglish, who's up there. I mean, God, he was my idol. In '77, when he left, I was in tears. I was crying, and I thought my world had ended when Kenny went to Liverpool. Little did I know that I was going to play against him and then play beside him in Scotland and become his mate. And, you know, it's just incredible. But Paul he just did everything. He had vision. I mean, see today's players, you know, they get the ball and they look sideways and backwards, and Paul never done that. Everything was forward. You know, and he didn't mind passing the ball and losing it. No, everything's about ball retention now, isn't it? You know,
Paul was actually, yeah.
trying a pass and it get cut out because he would fight. He knew that I would fight. He knew that everyone would fight to get it back.
He was linked with Manchester United about every season, Frank, and I was delighted that he was going to come to United. I'd be United fanatic.
Yeah.
And, for one,
if he had came,
it never happened. So I was disappointed from that point of view. But you're right. The maestro, what a player he was. He was incredible.
If he'd have went to Man United, we'd have been talking about him among the greats. You know, that's how highly I rated him. So, you know, and he gets so shy. You know, he gets so shy when everyone pumped. When Wally said to him, "Frank makes you world class," he was all shy and all that. You know, that's what it does. I said, but you know, it's just the way Paul is. You know, he just every day was the same. He was a captain, but he led from the front. He wasn't a shouter like Roy or Tommy or anything like that. He was, but he led from. He just led by example.
Yeah. I think
wonderful player.
He turned up to. I think it was a training camp United had. And Rio Ferdinand and Giggs were all still there at the time. And Paul, I think it was out in Australia, and he brought us a couple of kids along. And the kids were like, "There's Rio Ferdinand, there's Ryan Giggs." But they were saying to Paul, "You couldn't give us your autograph." And his kids were like, "Dad, what are they getting your autograph for?" And they thought, it's Paul McStay.
Some of the boys, I was talking to Rio, and he was saying, some of the guys are going, because Rio is a big fan. And Rio was going, "You're the best, you're the best player and all that." And people were going, "Who is he?" And they're going, "Who is he? He's a world-class player. He's the best midfield player." He says, "You couldn't lace his boots and all that." And it's great. You know, all the normal boys like Scholes and all that knew who Paul was, but all the foreigners didn't have a clue. No, I didn't have a clue. But that's in life. I didn't have a clue in life, but in football, they were not bad.
I wanted to ask you about that. Do you remember that when you went to court with Woods and Butcher?
Yes.
I think you were having a drink or something. You're all having a drink or a coffee or something together during the trial.
No, well, went to court. You couldn't make this up, boys. It was called Goldilocks and the Three Bears. That was the name of the court case. So it was very, very weird. But we had to go to court every day. And no matter what people think, I don't want to shatter anyone's illusion, we kick lumps out of each other in a park. But well, go for a beer night after it. You know, we do. We're civilised. So I'm talking to, and I knew all the boys from England because I'd played against them. You know, Big Butcher. We got him relegated, tried to kill me. He was at Ipswich. We got him relegated. It was funny. He kicked another door in. I kept saying him, "Doors don't kick back," you know. That Big Terry being Terry, you know, that was him. So we were all sitting, and I swear it, boys, we're all sitting and we're eating lunch together all week. And I went and got them lunch on a Friday. And of course, I got them all fish dinner. They didn't have a clue, boys. My agent, who's a proper one of them, and he's going, "No, I don't want a fish." And they're going with some and he's going, "That's Catholic steaks." And I'm going, "What?" And Terry Butcher's going, it's a fish. He didn't have a clue. So it was good fun. But we got, I still say to this day, if one of us four of us get charged. If one of us get guilty, the four of us were guilty. And if one of us get not guilty, then I still believe that to this day. So when it became Chris Woods, or Christopher Woods, guilty, Terence Butcher, guilty, Francis McAvennie, not guilty, I burst out laughing. And Chris Woods was not happy about it. And I don't know if I can swear on your programme, but in the dock, Chris turned around and he went, "You fucking started that." So that was quite funny in the dock when the guy's banging, the judge is banging, all that kind of stuff, because everyone's howling because of what he said to me. And Graham Roberts, not proven, but only in Scotland can you get that. Not proven. And Rob was going, "What's that mean?" I said, "They know it's you, they can't prove it." So that was so that was good. And then, of course, turned up, we were playing Hearts the following day. Hadn't trained all week. Playing Hearts the following day, turned up at the hotel Friday night, all the boys are applauding me and all that. And that's when I come out with that great saying, "They couldn't even beat us in court this year." So, So that was well remembered. So,
Absolutely class, man.
it was good fun, if it can be. I mean, when I was getting charged, they had to get took in. I thought it was Ronnie. I thought it was one of them mad X-Men, you know, one of them psychopaths. Because there was hundreds of press, and I'm thinking, who's coming in after me? No, it's for you. Oh, what? You know, so it was one of them. It was funny though. I mean, I got a week off training, so you know me, I always like a week off training.
And tell me here, I heard a good thing about what you said to Paul Lambert at St. Mirren. Tell us that.
Oh, Paul, I just, I forgot about it. I forgot about it. And, I forgot. He was one of the kids just as I was leaving. And he's doing my boots and all that. And I was with Frank McDougall and all that. Smoking and all this. And I said to him, he's come out and do my boots, can do your boots? And he says, yeah, go on. In front of everyone, I said to him, do you smoke, son? He said, no, I don't smoke. I said, do you drink? Nah, don't drink. I said, do you like getting out with a woman? Nah, no. I said, you'll never make it, son. So, I forgot all about it, and he told that a couple of weeks ago on the Go programme. Brilliant. I forgot completely. How wrong could I have been? It was a joke there. Because it was what player? Great player. Mate, he was my boot boy. He was my boot boy, and so was Shea Given. He was my boot boy when I was at Celtic.
Celtic.
I know, and they let him go, saying he wasn't any good. Yeah, that was a good match. It was brilliant. Get rid of him, and then we signed Julie Andrews.
I remember Big Andrews.
Oh yeah, that was a lot of logic in that one. Get rid of Shea and sign Big Julie.
And what happened to Julie? Didn't you leave after the centenary season?
Yes. Well, listen, the reason, I'm not going to get into it, but there was reasons why I got offered more money at West Ham to stay. And Celtic says, look, we'll give you the signing on fee, tax free. And I'm going, why would you do that? And he says, well, we pay the tax, but it means that we can get the headlines. And we can say to the people in Scotland, Frank's coming back for a £1,000 drop in wages because he wants to play for the club. And he says, we're not telling any lies. He says, but we'll give you the sign-on fee, tax-free, which makes up the balance of the money at West Ham. And I said, brilliant. As long as I get it, don't care. So, of course, after the first 3 months, they put the wages through my first part of the sign-on fee, they put it through my wages. So I said to the gaffer, Gaffer, they put that through my wages and you sort it out. No problem, I'll get it sorted. And then the next one went through. And I'm saying, well done. And that's how they kept saying I was wanting to go back to London. It was dragging on. It was every time I got my sign-on fee, there was an argument. So it was every 3 months, you get it every quarter. So I was raging. And then when we won the league, they told me I wasn't getting it. And I was raging. I was, because all they wanted, the board, that stupid board, all they wanted was to win the league. So they got it, and they never done it. They kept me hanging on. So I was raging. Because when I signed for Celtic, I thought I'd be there to finish my career. Didn't think I would leave. Honest to God, I didn't think. But when you get people like that run the club, you just couldn't. I couldn't. People say to me, I'd play for nothing. Well, you wouldn't. If you're a football player, you wouldn't play for nothing. You don't. You need to eat. People wouldn't go and work in the tools for nothing. It's just the old men. It was just the way it was done. I'm a big Celtic man. I thought, how can you do that to me? I really didn't. And it wasn't the gaffer's fault. It was not due to the gaffer. It was all bored and miserable sods they were. So
it was typical of the biscuit tin mentality they had then, wasn't it?
Oh, it was horrible. They won the league. They didn't care about next year. They couldn't see that Rangers were building.
Yeah.
They were building and they just couldn't see that, you've got to keep up with them.
And the next season, Rangers should have won the treble. I was actually at the cup final. Joe Miller scored to make it 1-0, and that would have been a treble for them in that season. And then after that, it was Celtic finished 5th and 6th and everywhere.
Well, you know Gary Stevens.
Yeah, he made the mistake.
Let him go, be Joe. When I signed the second time to Celtic, I phoned Joe because he was on the phone to Joe, and he thought I was going to sign for Thistle. So he says, "Are you coming out tonight?" And I says, "No, I'm going to sign." He says, "Don't tell anyone I'm going to sign for Celtic." And I went, "What?" I said, "I'm going to sign. We Joe's still there." He says, "Look, we're not out tonight." And I says, "Right, okay." I says, "Once I finish, I'll come and see." He said, "We're going to Busy Wares in St Enoch Square, down that way." And he says, "Oh, we're going to be there." I says, "Right, I'll see you there." So I've walked in. First one I seen was Alan McCoy. He's like, "Mac, welcome back," and all that. And there's a load of Rangers players there, and all the Celtic boys. We're all having a laugh, having a good laugh. And somebody says, "Oh, Joe's at the bar getting a drink." So I went and walk over now. As I went and walk over, Joe's standing here. Gary Stevens is here trying to get a drink behind him. And I walked over and I said, "Gary, if you'd got that close to him in the cup final, he wouldn't have scored." Well, he was not happy. But Joe nearly dropped out of the drink. He was just doing that. Oh, that was it. Welcome back, Mac. It was brilliant. Good start. Very good start.
You're bound to have some stories about you and McCoy and your escapades.
McAvennie go through the name of He would say no. Listen, he's a good, he's a good, he doesn't care. He really doesn't care if he's a Rangers man, same as me, I'm a Celtic man, couldn't care less about religion and all that. It was just, he's a big Rangers fan, I honestly think they wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him being a manager. I think it was like a bit of glue that held him together, because I've never seen a manager put his arms around so many people, and so many people going to save the club and all that. And for him to go into his first time management job, I think it was a hell of a job to take. Walter told him not to take it. Walter Smith told him not to take it. But I think if he hadn't took it, I don't think they'd have been here. And I know people say I don't care about get rid of them or not. I think there's, I always want Rangers to be second, but I want a challenge, because it makes it better, doesn't it, for the fans? And when you're just turning up, when they won the derby, we were turning up. A trained monkey could have won the league with Celtic. And let's be honest about it. It's just a way. I just think Celtic have got this. You've got to win it a certain way. And I fell out with Peter Law. Well, never fell out with him, but he took exception when I said Ronnie, when he signed Ronnie, it was the wrong manager. I want Celtic to kick on and bury Rangers. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to go and kick on and win it in style, win it and the way the fans should. It was half-empty stadiums and all that, wasn't it?
Yeah, the top part of the stand was closed for 2 seconds.
It was horrible because, I'm all for this. They do it now. They go over now, but they cheer. But, we were drawing with Kilmarnock and all that, and he's running over. I'm like, give me a break, will you? So, no disrespect to Ronnie, because if they offered me a job, I'd take it. But I'd be the wrong one, But I'd have a good time. Don't worry about that. But, I just thought Ronnie was the wrong choice, And when they got Brendan and they paid the money, and you get what you pay for. When he came in,
what a difference!
Night and day, it was. And then no matter what you say about Brendan, he entered 7 trophies, tournaments, and won 7 trophies. You can't take that away. I honestly had a wee chat with him, and he wanted to stay at the end of the season. He did want to stay because him and Peter were not getting on, and but he got told that the Leicester job might not be there for him. And then he wanted to get an interim manager at Leicester, but he says because the guy had just died, didn't he? The dad that owned Leicester. Yeah. So there's a lot of problems, and I think he's down there. He runs the show, so he's not, and that's the kind of job that's what Fergie. That's what they had at Man United. Fergie ran it.
Everything.
Oh, top to bottom. Well, that's what Brendan's. He's old school. A lot of coaches now come in and they don't bother about running a club. I would want to do everything, because it's on you. If I'm signing players, I want to sign my players. not who you think's good. You know, and I think Brendan was that. It's him. Don't get me wrong, he brought in a couple of duds, but he got rid of them quickly. Because a lot of people forget it's hard to play for Celtic. I suppose it's the same with Rangers as well. It's a massive stadium, and every one of the fans want you've got to win. They demand that you win. So not a lot of players, all these flash players that come over, they go into their shell, and it takes a big man to put the hoops on and go out and do it. So, you know, a lot of good players have come through and they went away and found another career elsewhere, but they just couldn't handle the fact that out in the street, that goldfish bowl, as everyone talks about.
Yeah.
You know, out in the street, you've got to say hello to everyone. You've got to fend off all the abuse for Rangers and all that kind of stuff. So,
Right, and you have a big personality. It's actually
I made a career. Go on.
So I was going to say, what actually leads me to something that people don't know about you, and that actually shocked me. So tell everybody what they don't know about you, Frank.
I was only kidding. What I said, sorry watchers, everyone listening, what I said was that I'm shy. I'm a little bit, but not really. No.
Aye, when you're sleeping?
I'm sleeping, yeah. Yeah. No, I've got two sides to me. There's a people don't know about me. My missus noticed straight away. There's a Frank and there's a Macca. And there's two sides to me. So yeah, it's different. When I'm at home and all that, I'm Frank. And when I go into a Celtic night or out in a club, I'm Macca. Simple as that. Just give them what they want.
I've only ever seen Macca.
Yeah. So is most people. I don't let a lot of people into my house.
Frank, you were saying.
So tell me.
You were saying before.
Go ahead,
Frank, sorry, Frank. You were saying when you seen the George Best jersey that he was a good friend of yours and he looked after you when you went to London.
Yes, it was. His agent was the same agent as mine, Bill McMurdo.
Right.
So with the same agent. So when I went to London, George and him had a place called Blondes. There's this bar, restaurant in Dover Street, which is magnificent. Just can't say any more than that. It was brilliant. I mean, it was jam-packed. The food was gorgeous. Honestly, the food. And then you go through the wine bar, all glass-fronted place. Across from, I don't know if you know London, across from Dover Street wine bar, just down a bit, big glass-fronted. You go in the door, go left, that's the restaurant, go right, it's the wine bar. There's a corridor at the back. It was, honestly, guys, it was magnificent. Just everyone wanted to talk to George, you know, and you hear a lot of stories, but I only take people as I find them. George was great to me, right from the start. It was brilliant, so it was good fun. So and I got to play in his testimonial as well, didn't I? Over there, over at Windsor Park. I played in his testimonial, and it was strange because I was at Celtic at the time, and Billy says, "Just play for half an hour." And I says, "Yeah, all right." Really, one of the best players in the world to run this pitch. You don't want me to play half hour? No, wasn't going to happen, was it? So I'm on, and as I'm running out to warm up, you run out of Windsor Park, it was mobbed. And they're all applauding me. And I'm going, you know, this is not right. This is not right. So I ran back in. And I came out again. And it was, F off your fingers, lad. Right, okay.
That's more like it.
More like it. I feel at home now. So that was it. But George, yeah, with a good night. With a good night over there, with George, I had a good night in Belfast with George. Yeah, it was good fun. But yeah, it was just such a nice guy. You know, he didn't have a... Listen, people laughing on it when I say it was great to go for advice because anything I was going through, George went through it. You know, and so it was good because, listen, people forget he retired at 25.
I know.
You know, I mean, 26, something like that. It was incredible. You know, and when I say that, he went to America, but it was, you know, and he beat 10 players and scored or something, didn't he, that one? He was 3 stone overweight and beard.
I know the advice you were looking. You know, was it Miss World or Miss Great Britain you wanted to go out with, and what champagne to drink?
No, we're all sitting. There's a lot of things that we're sitting. We're sitting. George was just, I can't say, but he was magnificent. You know, it's just some of the things that used to come out when we were sitting. We're all having a meal and we're having a laugh. It was after a Scotland game. I arranged with George for the boys come back. Me, Mo, and all that. We're having a laugh, having a meal, and I said to George, it came out, didn't it? You ever played in the World Cup? No, he hadn't. And I had, so it all went silent. And the answer he gave me, will love me to dear die. He says, when you've slept before Miss World, come back and have a conversation with me. So you can imagine, I just died. I really, what a comeback. And I said to him, I've not even spoke to one. He was going out, it changed because he was going out with Mary Stabbing at the time, so I spoke to her. So she's gorgeous. So yeah, I really did, and I missed him. I really did when he went. So went far too early for me. So anyway,
I haven't heard anyone say a bad word about him ever.
No. Well, you get people saying he was ignorant to me, but I remember one time I told Callum this when I met him. I was in Blondes and the waiter comes from the maitre d' says, George is there. And I says, oh yeah, I was with a crowd of people. I was having a meal. He says, he's through the bar. And I says, okay. He says, can you go and make sure he's okay? I says, yeah, no worries. So I went through, George is sitting his own. And I walked over and there's a couple of spaces. I walked over and I went, George, you all right? He went, Maca, how you doing, sir? I went, oh, I'm all right. He's bluttered, absolutely bluttered. You could tell he'd been drinking all day. And I said, "What? Come and join us." He went, "No, I'm with somebody." I said, "Who are you with?" He said, "Don't know." So that was it. Don't know. That was it. And then 2 gorgeous women come out of the toilet, and they just nudged me out of the way. I get the big out. And I said to George, "Is this who you're with?" He went, "Yeah." I went, "Do you need a hand?" And one of the girls says, "No." Unbelievable. What a man. It's just the eyes, you know, that the good looking Irishman. He was brilliant. And great company. I loved his company. I really did. Loved his company. I could sit and talk to him all night. So it was good.
And tell me this, do you think he was better than Messi? I know you think Messi's brilliant.
Yeah, well, Messi never started. Never come into the limelight. You know, I'm a great fan. I thought Maradona was better than Messi. You know, I know a lot of people might say, different things, but different era. George's different era for Messi. Can you imagine George not getting kicked? You know, the players kick him now. And Maradona's the same. Can you imagine Maradona playing when nobody's trying to break his legs?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, you look at it and you go, different eras, you know, and Messi, although he's so good, he had the chance to match Maradona when the World Cup, he had the chance to even through and one-on-one, he missed it. He messed it up. And that was his moment. That was his moment to be there. Mm-hmm. But he messed it up. Maradona won the World Cup. All right, decent players run about him. But he also went to Italy. Went in Napoli, unfancied team, few duds in the team, and he won the league twice, didn't he? Twice.
I agree.
So you got to look at that and say, well, that's something. That's, you know, George was, for me, George was there with Jinky Johnson, two of them.
Brilliant. I was going to ask you, because Jerry Stanlaw reckons George Best is far better than Jinky, and I argue from Black and Blue that Jinky was just as good, if not better.
Two of them, I just couldn't compare them because different kind of players. But Jinky was an out-and-out winger, just an out-and-out winger. You never seen Jinky in the middle. You know, the gaffer used to say, Frank, when we were knackered, we used to get a boy Jinky, and he would hold it for about 30 seconds. And that's a lot of time in a football park when you're trying to get a breather, you know. So he would go beat 3 players and then come back and beat them again. And all the boys would be going, opening up their lungs and all that and drinking beer and running up and down. So that was him. And
did you spend much time with Jinky?
Do you know what? When he was a bit, I had a few nights with him, a few carry on with him, but he's some boy. I mean, what the difference with George, when I met George in London, he was a great lad. I didn't play with him or anything like that, but great lad. Jinky I watched as a boy, you know, so, and when I signed my first game at Parkhead for my first game against Hibs, the gaffer held me back. He wouldn't let me run out with the team, and that's when I said I was shy. And I want to run out with the team. Why run out your own, you know? And because I thought the fans, I was the same. I wanted Charlie back, Charlie Nick. I didn't think they were coming in for me. So, and the manager, Big Bully, said, "No, you're going your own," and it's helped me. And as I went to run out the tunnel, me Jinky's appeared for nowhere, you know, and he gave me a cuddle, and he says, "Just enjoy yourself, wee man." He's still there, and I was up there. And I was like, brilliant. And I thought that's what Celtic's all about, you know. All the players were about the club at that time. You know, Jinky, Bobby Leonard's my coach, you know. They were all there, nearly mocking. Oh, God.
Legends.
Biggest wind-up merchant ever. So he was there with the young boys and all that. Brilliant. You know, he was a kit man, wasn't he? He was, every day he was in doing something. And we just get some great characters, but to see our aim about the place, Betty he was always in about, you know. So it was good to see the Lisbon Lions, and I think that's what clubs are all about, isn't it? And I think that's the difference in Celtic. That boy Jimmy went out his way to come and see me. He didn't know me, you know. He didn't know me, but he knew what I was going through because, you know, he's been there as a footballer. So that was so nice of him. It really was so nice of him.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
And it got pals because when they were pulling down the jungle, it broke my heart. But you see me and Jimmy just walking around, cuddling each other and laughing, and you know, and Rogie, it was brilliant with Rogie, Anton.
Brilliant.
Anton flung his jersey into the jungle and they flung it back. I have never laughed so much.
You're a bad man.
I think they just got the wrong person and just flung it back up. But it was a wind up. Somebody just went, "Watch this," and flung it back. Well, Rogie was he was crucified, wasn't he? It was so hot. Micah, they flung it back. Oh, brilliant.
In fairness, he did well. He was actually good for Celtic.
Rogie was brilliant. I mean, we played a certain way. You know, all these great teams that are doing it now, and it's all different. So apparently it was just invented, you know, 3 at the back and all that. We done it at Celtic. But you can only do that if you've got the players that's going to do that, go forward. We had Chris Morris and Rogie who could run all day. So, you know, he put Roy in with Derek and Mick McCarthy, Derek White. So playing a 3-4, playing against decent teams, you know, and makes them fill the midfield up. So they took him playing midfield easily. And they took him one of the bad defenders, you know, they weren't bad. Rogie once or twice played centre half, but you know, we're playing it. Remember the old lights at Parkhead?
Yeah.
Big those old lights. We're playing Hearts. Rogie's playing centre half. Getting beat 1-0, and their keeper kicks a ball at Henry Smith. When the balls come out the lights, and Rogie's missed it. Mick Galloway ran through and scored 2-0 at half time. Well, you can imagine the gaffer. He's going off his head, going ballistic. And he shouted to the big Rogie, you know, "You stupid big Irishman." He called him a lot more than that, trust me. And he says, "Are you effing blind?" And Rogie says, "Well, I'm a wee bit blind to this." Well, the manager hit him with, so I don't know what he hit him with. I'm rolling about, you know. Somebody says that to you, don't say a word, because you know this guy is raging.
Keep your head down.
He says, "Well, I'm a wee bit blind to this." Oh, brilliant. What a laugh. But we got a draw that night. We pulled it back 2 each. It was, the whole place erupted again, but it was so funny. Some of the things we used to get up to was incredible. I love Rogie. He was on the phone to me a couple of days ago. What a character, what a player.
What's he doing with himself now, Frank?
I don't know, he's in Oxford. He's doing it. living in Oxford. The taxi's not all right. I think he's doing all right. He's got a company. Roggie's biggest problem is he's a manager of a company and the owner of a company, and he does all the work. You're defeating it a wee bit. You're supposed to let him do it. So he's brilliant. Roggie's, he's a great lad. He's so on. He came up to Jenky's funeral, Tommy's might have been funeral, and he come with the boys. He just came, turned up. We seen him at the graveside. He never came with the boys. He's just some boy. Rogie.
Is he not involved in football at all?
He's just some man. I love him. Me, him.
Oh, him.
He doesn't go. It doesn't bother me.
What about you? Are you a host at Celtic Park, Frank?
No, you're joking, aren't you? I pay you. Imagine going to do that all day, but they want you there at 12 o'clock to 7 o'clock. You're like, I didn't do 7 hours when I was a boy working. And they don't want. See, when I go to West Ham, they pay me a lot of money to go and do the lounges. They don't want to do that at Celtic. So what I do when I go to the games, I go with the missus and we just have a day of it, make a day of it, go and get. And they don't allow you to drink there. So if you're working, which rules it out for me basically. There's no chance. So I get sacked anyway because they'd catch me drinking. But at West Ham, it's compulsory that I have a drink. Nobody else can drink, but it's only me. So they say we couldn't have you without a drink because they just wouldn't be right. Nobody believe them. So the difference in the two clubs, So it's good. I go down to West Ham because if I'm working down there on a Saturday night or on a Friday night, I'll stay over, go to the game. It's good. It's good to see all the boys. I went down for my birthday. They took me on the pitch, my 60th there in November, and it was great. Took me on the pitch, gave me a jersey, number 16 in the back, and speaking to the crowd and all that just before the game. It was great. And Mourinho came over and shook my hand and all that. I thought he must have thought it was somebody else. But it was good. It was. It really was good. And they're decent. Every time a new jersey comes out, they send it to me. And with my name in the back. It's nice touch.
Celtic will probably charge you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Dafty bit, yeah.
Here, Frank, you're looking well for 60, hey boy.
Doing all right, innit? All this good living that I've had. A wee tip, ladies and gentlemen. Lots of water. Make sure you drink lots of water every day. Yeah. Yeah. And if you believe that, I've got a new gin. I've got a new gin. Just somebody sent me a gin to try it because they want me to put my name on it. So send me a couple of bottles. So that could be interesting next couple of days.
Gary, you'll have to get Frank out to the Kelp.
Oh,
we'll do a Q&A.
Yes.
Frank, maybe get one of the Rangers boys to come over with you and do some weekend. Yeah.
Not a problem. I'm over there. I'm doing one. I was supposed to do one there, but they put it off. I'm doing one with TC, Tony Cotty, in the bar, Don McNamara. So, and they filled it out as well because obviously it's a Celtic boys with them, but everyone wants Tony Cotty's on TV. It's everyone knows him. So I don't know if Coyce and that would do it because they're all busy. That's the only problem. Andy Gorham, you would have to, honestly, he would be there for a week. He would, and he would just drink and drink. So he's a good pal of mine, but it would cost you too much money and drink. But yeah, if you wanted, I can get in there, boys. Whether Coyce would do it, I don't know. But Derek Ferguson, a good lad, I know him a lot. And as I say, Andy Gorham. He's not everyone's cup of tea, but he's a good lad.
Yeah, we'll definitely look at it. Get over for a weekend. Get golf as well. Yeah.
Because I'm down to 10 now at the golf, so.
Ooh, not bad at all.
I'm not bad about this breakdown this lockdown has killed me. I've just battled and played 3 games, so I'm starting to hit it again. So yeah, it's amazing how much the touch goes, isn't it? Now I realise why they do pre-season training and all that. You're supposed to practice at golf as well. I didn't know that.
I haven't played in 15 years. You may imagine what mine would be like.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Frank, talking of which, who's your famous four-ball? Who would you take with you?
Well, see, there's a lot I thought about this, but you know what? I like a laugh. You know, I was going to have 4 players, but then I changed one of them. Jack Nicholson, who I've met twice, and Stringfellas. He was great. Just the aura about him. He was pissed, but it was great. But he done his girls round about him. Unbelievable. I just kept seeing it shining. You know, you're talking to him and just and tablets and all that kind of stuff. You know, ding dong, medication time. It's like, you just can't help it, can you? You're talking to people and that's what's coming out. So, and I was pissed as well. So it was good fun. And him, Rod Stewart, who I know I love dearly, and he's good for a laugh. You know, he's really good. You know, there's not a lot I wouldn't. Yeah, he was brilliant. My wonderful friend, who's God rest him, George. I put him. I mean, that's 3 people that I'm guaranteed I laugh with.
Yeah,
you know. And I was going to put in Tiger Woods because just the stories that he could tell. But then I thought, you know, I'm a big rock fan, and I've been to see Bruce Springsteen in the E Street Band many times. So I quite think that would be an interesting getting Bruce in instead of Tiger. You know, so I think Bruce, Rod, we can get into music and all that. Me and Jack could talk about The Shining and all that. Maybe the hospital ward or something. I don't know. Maybe we could talk about something. I'm sure we'd find something that would be interesting. But it's that would be good. It'd be a great football and me just to sit in a bar.
Magic. Well, listen, I have to say before we go, a big thanks to your good friend Michael Mazza, fellow Malacans man like myself, for introducing us.
Not a problem. He still owes me a drink. You know that. Anyway, God, I could be waiting a long time.
You will. You may grow that beard.
Listen, it was a wonderful pleasure, honestly.
Brilliant. Jerry and I are absolutely delighted to have you on. You're a superstar, and hopefully we'll see you out in Spain soon.
All right, brilliant. Yeah. Take care, lads.
I'm going to get that organised.
Yeah, brilliant. Do that.
100%. Thank you for coming on.
I love that. Thank you. Thanks, take care, boys. God bless.
So welcome to this week's show. Jerry and I are joined today by 2 Irish League superstars, Chris Morgan and Ian Young. Welcome to the show, lads. Lovely to see you.
Thank you very much.
Good to have you on board, lads. Good to be chatting to you. Collie left me out this week again.
No, I said Jerry and I. First time we got it right.
Did you? Go ahead. Right.
So, Chris, over to you firstly. Tell us a wee bit about yourself and your background and the teams you played for and stuff.
Football wise?
Yeah.
Okay,
so personal stuff in a minute.
Aye. Started off as a nipper playing for Saintfield boys, as they were back then. Briefly played for Lisburn Youth. Went back to Saintfield, had a bad back injury when I was about 15, couldn't play for about a year and a half. And started playing in the amateur league for Saintfield. You'd have played on that pitch many times, Simba, I would have thought, for Malacans.
Absolutely.
Would have suited you. It was a really small pitch.
I hated it. It was too small for me. I could run then.
Aye, so you keep telling me. And played for Saintfield, went to the Cruise, from Crusaders to Linfield, from Linfield to Glentoran, from Glentoran to Newry with the gaffer there. And then whenever he was removed, resigned from his post, I jumped ship for a few months at Dungannon Swifts, just to try and enjoy football for a couple of months, because for the 3 or 4 months after Jerry had left Newry City, it was hard going. It was hard going driving down the road, and I was getting that stage of my career where you kind of got fed up with a few things. So I went to Dungannon and played under Dixie Robinson and Rodney McAvennie and Darren Murphy. Enjoyed a few months and then called it a day.
Good lad. And Ian, what about yourself?
Yeah, well, I started the same as Chris as well up in St. Field here, up in Gold Country, and I played for St. Field just as in the boys from under 12s upwards, and then into the sort of third, second, and the first, and then from there followed the same path, went to Crusaders, and then Crusaders to Linfield. From Linfield, then I went to Carrick for a short spell on loan for a couple of weeks, and then signed for Ards with Trevor Anderson for a year, and then from there to Newry for 2 years, and then I went back to Crusaders for a spell, and probably same as Chris as well. At that point, it was just even probably 3-4 years before that, if I was completely honest, I just completely fell out of love with football. I really did. I was fed on it. You know, I've said this before, and I should have wrapped it a long time before that, and I didn't, and I probably just hung on in there to get a brown envelope, I think, at the end of the week, and that's when you know the time's up, and even though it wasn't much, but you know, it's I should have given up probably long before I did. I think I stopped playing when I was 26 around that, so I stopped quite early, and now I'm back playing for St. Field at 44 for the third team. I'm loving it, but I don't know, I just had to have that break for a long time, and so help the third team out as often as I can, and with the young lads. But you know, it's strange playing with kids. You're like 16, 17, and you're like, they're granda. It's terrible, but it's good crack. So yeah, that's where I got to at this point.
Brilliant. And Margot, what age did you retire? You were slightly older than Ian.
34, Simba. And I mean, I probably could have played on. As I said earlier, I had to stop playing for about a year and a half. I had a bad back. I had a struggle with my back all through my career, and it generally manifested itself in groin and hamstring injuries. It wasn't ever really my back, but it all came from my back. But it got to the point where I was sore before games, and just decided that I'd had enough. We just had our second child. At that stage, Alfie was born in September. I played that season, and he was tough going for a few months. So I used to drive to Newry on a Tuesday and a Thursday night. I would come in from work, have to leave the house pretty much straight away, and do that drive down. It was through the traffic, 6 o'clock, you were getting down in Newry. And Alfie had colic at that stage. He had really bad reflux and he had colic. So I would get to Newry. As I was going out the door, he would be crying. And you had that feeling of guilt that I was leaving actually, and we had another Isabel was only 18 months at the time. So I had driven down, taken an hour to get to Newry, and I got out of the car and I would have phoned her, and Alfie still would have been crying. And you were doing that thing of, you know, I wasn't enjoying football. I had responsibilities in the house. I was 34, was done. Well, I was only 33 at that stage, but I was done. I knew it was done myself. And everything kind of came together that it was probably felt right, you know, that I stopped playing at that level. And I didn't really want to drop down too many levels, because you would have, you know, if I dropped down and played at a lower level, you'd just get kicked from week to week, you know. And there's so many times I wish I had went on and played, because you can't go back, you can't get that time back. And I've been involved. I've always been involved in football since I stopped, be it through the media or whatever. And in the last probably 12 to 18 months, I started playing futsal, and I absolutely love that. And it's kind of reinvigorated me a wee bit of purpose, and it suits me better, because it's a ball player's game. Jerry would have done well at it. Ian, you wouldn't have done so well at it.
No, I wouldn't.
There's a five foul rule in futsal, and if you commit 5 fouls in any given half, every time there's a foul after that, the team gets a 10-metre penalty. So people like yourself, Ian, it wouldn't have been made for you, mate.
That definitely would not have suited me. Definitely not have suited me.
It's a real slur on your reputation, younger.
Isn't it? I know it's terrible.
It's a fact. It's reality.
I was just misunderstood.
or just a wee bit late sometimes. Yeah.
Sometimes very late, yeah.
A lot of times.
I just avoid tackling it all together. Suit me better. So Jerry, you played with Chris, did you? Or were you player manager or just manager?
No, I'd retired at that stage. I tried to sign him about 2 or 3 times, didn't I? And then finally got you. And then you wanted to retire at one stage. Remember even through a couple of games, and then he says, "No, I'm done." And I says, I'm not letting you go." And there's one chance, I think, I can't remember who it was against, you missed. But we had Stephen Gard coming through at the time. And I just knew Chris playing alongside him would just be, as I said, his game and his intelligence upstairs, and just finding wee passes for Gard, because he was just like a wee bunny, Duracell bunny, all over the place. But my idea was get Chris alongside him, and then he's holding it up and just teaching him wee things and trying to introduce it into Stephen's game. And then he ended up leaving. We Gard ended up signing for Trimble that time. Do you remember?
Well, Stevie has stayed after I had gone. It all you forget, because after you left us all in the shit, you forget. Now, I've still sympathy for you, because I used to see the emails from the chairman telling me who to pick, and he never picked me. He never wanted me in the team. I don't know why. In fact, it was the first contract I ever signed where I got a goal bonus was at Newry. It was the second contract I signed. And I was on a couple of quid for scoring a goal. And second game of the season, 2 goals in the first half, 5 minutes into the second half, another one drops in the box. They all were about 6 yards out every goal. Third one in the net, and I'm thinking, 50 quid a goal here. That's 150 quid I've made here. And 10 minutes later, my number was up, the board was up, number 9, and I'm coming off. And Jerry's going, "Chairman came down there, had a word to get Morgan off. Lost some money here. Don't worry about the game. The game we might still lose the game, but let's cost money, get him off."
We ended up getting beat 4-3.
Brilliant. So tell me, lads, what are you actually doing now? Chris, what are you doing now?
Right now?
Of course I know what you're doing.
Yeah, I run a small business. I run a football teamwear business. And we supply football kit, training gear, tracks, everything that a football club could possibly need. And we don't just cover football clubs, we cover sports clubs, other various sports, schools, community organisations, youth clubs. And you kind of find that sports clothing is now pretty much mainstream. Our main brand that we would sell would be Nike. Our business is a tier 1 Nike account, so we go to all the big Nike events with big players. Now sometimes look at the businesses that are there. There's maybe only 5 or 6 from across the UK, and I find it strange that we're there given the size of our business. But you're listening to some of these guys in a Nike, like CEO or the sort of the head of football operations in Europe, this type of stuff, when they talk about football and the importance of clothing, the clothing market, and so on, and they say things. If you look at Next now, if you look at Marks and Spencers, they've all got their own brand of sportswear. Sportswear is everywhere, so people are wearing it all the time. So whilst we're fundamentally a football company and we sell to football clubs, now people wear sportswear all of the time. They're not necessarily doing sport. You look at women of a certain age, they're running around sportswear, and they might go to Ian, they might do a little bit of working out with Ian. It's lifestyle stuff now. So it's football has shaped my whole life, when I look at it. And I'm now running a business that relies on football more so than anything. And it has its challenges. Listen, running any small business is not much fun at times. But I get up in the morning and go to work, and I probably spend out of a 8 or 9 or a 10 hour day talking about football for maybe 2 or 3 of those hours. So it has its upsides too.
And you occasionally get nice buns, I believe.
We've got a really good customer from a powerhouse of the football world, Malachans, and their buyer would come in, and he would quite often bring nothing, but he would go out with something. Yeah. You brought buns once.
That nothing's always around your face anyway.
You know me, I don't need that type of stuff.
And Younger, what about yourself? What are you doing now?
Still coaching. Actually, I got my first job in a gym at 16. at Mary Peters up in Lisbon. And so I've always been kind of involved in it. And how long is that now? It's like nearly 30 years or something. It's ridiculous. So I've always been sort of in and out involved in this industry. And I've built my own wee place now at the house called the Hurt Locker. And I just work out here with my own clients and sort of train a lot of people online. And, you know, recently we're probably now 5 years ahead of where we're meant to be in terms of online trading in this industry, from recent events. And, you know, so I've seen a massive uptake in that, huge uptake in that. And it's just been, as Chris says, well, challenging in different ways now. But it's good in here. It's nice to be based at home as well. I had sort of a few reservations at the start with people coming to the house all the time, and especially their melters, but thankfully I don't have any melters that come out. So they're all good. But everybody's fantastic, and I have to say I'm blessed to have a really good bunch of clients. And so yeah, that's what I'm doing. I've been doing this now for a long time now. It's been something you enjoy at the end of the day. So
and then see when you say you're doing online training, so
yeah,
someone can be in their own house and you're working on.
I would do. Yeah, so we would set this up. So even the way we are now, sitting at the start, I've always done a wee bit of online training, and then we develop these phases to work in, and you know, you within 6 weeks it's sort of going to 300 clients in 6 weeks. And so we set these phases out, phase 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're about doing into the 4th phase. And when people realise you're now going into weeks 13 to 16 after where you've been, it's just everything's going so fast. That's what I mean. And it's been crazy to see this uptake in the training, and we get sit and do training like they are now. That they have an app on their phone, and all the exercises, the workout, the sets, the reps, everything is on that for them. So they're never lost. They have a structure, they have a plan in place, so they're more accountable. So if they miss a workout, it flags up to me that they've missed a workout. It puts them amber or red, and then so it puts the onus on them to actually train them. We've had some fantastic results on this as well. And then from Monday onwards, within that, we do private Zoom sessions like this, which I do with Leander. I've done them with Dale Farm. I've done them with Boojum in this lockdown, and I'm getting more and more contacts from corporate clients asking, can I look at like an insurance firm I'm doing from tomorrow, an American-based one. So I'm taking their clients, and I really think this is what you're going to see, where before firms possibly offered clients a membership to a gym, I think they're going to offer them a membership to like an online type thing where they can encompass everything. We'll have, which I'm starting next week, I've been working on developing, where they can do everything from the comfort of their own home. They can do their yoga, their Pilates, they can do their HIIT, their strength, and everything's just in one place to do it at their time. You'll find now, like, the amount of people and businesses that are now reassessing how they work in terms of, are they office based or home based? There's been a massive uptick in this worldwide, and even Zoom now. Zoom's now worth more than Hilton Group and American Airlines. I think it's like £43 billion or something. It's just skyrocketed over the past 8-9 weeks. So it's been good from that respect, and it's really kept me taking over, because obviously I'd lost everything, because we had those big boot camps and those big training camps where we had Ashfield and we had Raft, more outdoor ones, and they were big sessions, like huge. And then all of a sudden it was like a carpet just pulled away from me, and it was all football and just gone like that. So it was about flipping really quickly and sort of trying something new fast, and we did that within 4 or 5 days, and it's just skyrocketed, which it's been great. You know, it's busy in a different way now, but it's good.
And do you stay online? Are you like a Peloton where you're there pumping them as they're?
Well, the way it is, we developed that now from the Monday sessions on, and this is going to lead me into something different, which I don't really want to say too much about this yet, but it's going to lead me into something different. So we've had this plan for the past probably 2 months, and we've been working on it and just doing loads of planning for it. So the phase is going to start now will lead us into where I wanted to go to, and from that it's not just going to be people within. Well, it's not going to be people on from Australia, even somebody from Saudi Arabia. I don't even know how I've got somebody from Saudi Arabia on, but it's crazy. So it's to open this whole thing to the worldwide and really try and push this. And obviously, the more members we have, as long as we can guarantee them a really good service, really good workouts, and it's very informative in terms of the vlogs and the blogs all in one place. It's basically going to be like an online gym for them, and if we can open that out to the whole world, and they can log in whatever they want, either to live sessions, you say like Peloton, obviously you do it somewhere there, you can see that.
Never stop.
And
the bike's broken at the moment, just.
Is it all right?
Chains off.
Sorry, I was going to say, this podcast called Health, Wealth and Football? I think there's an investment opportunity in this man here, boys.
I think so, yep.
What do you reckon? Sounds amazing.
So that's where it's going to go. And you can see where there's sort of membership sites around the world from big PTs of 25,000 members on it, and it's created, it's a massive amount. I think now is a really good time to go after that and sort of to work on that.
I've had a couple of customers in the bar this week, believe it or not, a lady who worked for Co-op, and they're actually now saying to her that she can now just stay in Spain. She's been here since the lockdown. She wasn't able to get back, and her job now, her partner is able to, she's sort of semi-retiring, and she's Co-opers and now saying to her that what she does within her role is that she can now work from home. I was talking to another businessman who's involved in a lot of stuff back home, and he was saying that their office that they have, that they're now thinking about giving it up and just letting people work from home. Because we were talking online, Profile Tree, who Colin does some work for and who does our websites, and they have a little counter on the computer now where you can see how many times the computer's been pressed and stuff, where you're keeping an eye on people so you can regulate it now. Where I think maybe at the start of lockdown, people were getting a wee bit, lazy and not doing stuff. And there's different ways now that you can track your worker's progress.
We should have affiliate links on there. It's called Time Doctor. Very good.
Yeah.
I think it's well.
On Mr. McGovern, I think, Chris.
I've the same thing, Jerry, there, where I have a few clients in Belfast at a big office space, and they're doing exactly the same thing. They've 54 people in an office, and they're just saying now they're going, with this big office space, we don't actually need this. And the past 7, 8, 9 weeks has proved that they can actually work from home very productively. So all of us, but in itself, then if you go in the Belfast, it's going to have a massive knock-on effect. Because all of a sudden there's 50 people out of here, 100 people out of there. Like, what's going to happen to all these deli counters, all these sandwich shops, everything? It's just going to have this massive knock-on effect. And it is a big change for everybody involved. And it's going to be exciting but strange how it pans out over the next 6 to 12 months.
Yeah, there's going to be quite a few businesses that will actually suffer in a big way, but there'll be great opportunities for other businesses, the likes of yourself, an online gym. And again, it can be at any time, because a lot of people with traffic getting to them and stuff like that. It's like we're doing a wee thing at the minute, and we'll speak offline. I would like to get more information on what you're doing and probably join it. Whether Collier or not will do it, I don't know. He'll have a few excuses, hopefully. But
I give him a big order.
Yeah, your dial-up internet wouldn't work.
Is stabilizers out? The problem with the bike is stabilizers. There's one of them broken. He can't do it without the two stabilizers on the bike.
Yeah, well, definitely get you put on the RC. Chris, what about you? How do you think it's going to impact upon your business?
Well, I mean, I'm generally speaking, I'm a glass is half full with everything in life. So, I mean, I'm fairly certain that our core business relies on football participation levels. And we've our list of clients, we've got good clubs on board with big membership. And I'm fairly certain, I mean, that football's going to come back at some point. So as long as the pause in our business probably hasn't been a bad thing, and at some point football will come back, and people that have been away from it are only going to want to get back in greater depth and spend more time at it, because they've missed 12 weeks, and it might be 16 weeks, and it might be 20 weeks before they're back at it. So it's a case of we've paused. When things resume, I'm quite confident that business will go back to normal. I'm not sort of at no point was I fearing that this could be the end. You might have to react. Your business might look slightly different whenever you go back. My primary focus was in ensuring that people didn't lose jobs, and that continues to be one of my main focuses. And I believe we'll be all right. But the same token, you don't know. We're sort of being guided through a little bit, and there's a little bit of hope now, and the resumption of football training, which clubs were allowed, IFA guidance allowed them to go back on the 8th of June, and some clubs are back, they're preparing to get back. But it was almost like a switch was flicked. All my staff are furloughed with the exception of me. But I'm managing about 4 or 5 email accounts as well. But everybody's now contacting, they're all coming back, we're ready to go, this is the business we're looking to do. So whilst we set ourselves a growth target, we're not going to achieve that, because we'll have lost 3 or 4 months of business. If we're back trading in sort of semi-normal terms by August, I would imagine our figures from August to December will look something like what they should have. So I'm not overly fearful, but there's loads of things that I don't know. And when you run a business, you generally don't know. You're quite often just stumbling along and making mistakes and recovering from mistakes and moving on to the next bit. So. But it is an industry that will resume. People will always need kit. The good thing is the fact that they've been away for 4 or 5 months, they're going to probably want new stuff. And hopefully they've all been eating plenty and putting weight on, and therefore their kit that they had is not a fit them. So they're going to all need to buy new stuff. So, but on a serious note, I'm not overly fearful. And if we need to react, we need to do something different, we'll do that. You know, it's a case of just waiting until such times that we're back in a semblance of normality to really assess the impact in the business. And I'm not quite sure what the impact has been, probably for another 12 months.
Mm-hmm. I know you're coaching with Rosario, like myself at St Mary's, and any plans of going back? We're looking to start small-sided stuff tomorrow night.
Well, myself and another guy, we take the 09 team, and we're cut from the same cloth. We're champing at the bit. The club have told us that they want to. They've got our facility at Unitia is a Belfast City Council facility. So there's a lot of due diligence needed there, and make sure the facility is safe for people to resume. But as soon as we can be back, we'll be back. I mean, I'm coaching my son as well, and from his perspective, I want to get him out doing things again, because he massively misses it. But as soon as we're given the go-ahead, we'll be doing it. And if it's small groups, it's small groups. I think sometimes you can be creative in your coaching, and you can find different ways. So it's I'm looking forward to it. I think we'll probably be allowed to train again somewhere towards the end of this month, and I think that'll be the case for a lot of clubs. They'll start to find their way back, and as each stage we get through, hopefully. There isn't a second wave as being predicted, but as each stage unfolds, we can do a little bit more. I guess there's a sense of a little bit of excitement that, you know what, at some stage we'll be allowed to play a game here. You know, you take things for granted massively in life, and if anything, I'll be honest as well. This time at home has been, I've enjoyed it. It's you know, I've spent time around my family more so than I would have done in normal circumstances, and that's been brilliant for me. I haven't had to worry about minutiae. There's been no stuff getting involved and getting, you know, nonsense that drags you down. It's been removed, and we'd have to go back to normal life at some point. But I think I could live with being a lottery winner and do nothing.
Live the Jay Finn lifestyle, is that what you mean?
Yeah.
I know.
Every morning he posts pictures. Look at my office today. every single one looking over either the Marmon or the Mediterranean. It's not bad, tell you. Nice.
I've done about 4 hours work before you're even up. That's the thing.
Nobody believed that. Even Debbie believes that. Honestly, God.
I work different hours from you. I'm up every morning at 5 o'clock.
No. Honestly, he is up there doing anything.
At 9.
He tells me what to do. So, lads, you both played for Crusaders. I want to ask you, was there a wee link between Saintfield and Crusaders? Obviously, you both played there, and you wore the same coloured kits too.
Good point. The kit thing's a coincidence. The link is actually a good friend of Ian and myself, a guy called Fraser Evans. Now, there's a guy from a business perspective that you would be interested in.
Fraser, Abbey Insurance, Fraser?
That's the very man, yeah.
I met him a couple of times through a mutual friend, Leonie Power.
No, he's a top man. He's a really good friend of both of ours. He's somebody that I would actually speak to regularly about business as well and take advice from, because what he doesn't know is probably, he's very successful. So, but he's also on a level, and you can speak quite normally with him. But he was the reserve team assistant manager to a guy called Jim O'Rourke, and when Ian and I would have both been playing for Saintfield, and he signed both of us at different times, a year apart. And he was really the connection at that stage. Paul Dwyer, who's also from Saintfield, signed for Crusaders around the same time as us, although he had less of a connection to playing for Saintfield than both Ian and myself. But he was the guy that brought both of us to Crusaders. So slight connection. The colours is a pure coincidence, though.
All right, I just thought there might have been some sort of linkage there, just when both of you said you'd played.
Chris, I retweeted last night. You remember the scuffle with Big Kirk and Bingo? Someone had found the footage of it, and I'd retweeted it because a lot of people were saying, "Well, where was you and Chris Morgan?" I says, "Well, I was up marking, and we were standing at the halfway line just chatting whether we're going to Milk or McGuinness's tonight."
I was too young. I actually, you see me at the back end of it. I come in like something like a puppet on a string. Somebody's pulling my arms. I'm bouncing around, doing absolutely nothing. I'm not getting involved in anything. But I'm there, and then I quickly get offside. I sort of I'm out of the picture after a bit. Like so.
I was on the bench that day as well.
Who has a story about Big Kirk? You, Margo?
Pardon?
Who has a story about Big Kirk? Have you a story?
Yeah. The stories from Crusaders then are funny when you think back. I mean, just even being part of it, I signed for Crusaders when I was 18, and then we played a pre-season friendly against Crusaders reserves and Fraser was at me for ages to come and sign, and I was quite comfortable. I was decent as a kid coming through, but spent about a year and a half not playing. And you automatically think that you're not going to be good enough then. And I was quite happy playing with my mates at Saintfield. But we played the Crews in a pre-season friendly, and we beat them. It was their reserve team. We beat them 5-1, and I played the first half and scored 4. And Billy Sinclair spoke to me at the end of the game, and he said, Fraser's mad at you to come. Why are you not coming down? I was like, I didn't know Sinky. I'd seen him on the TV when he managed Jerry in a Rangers tracksuit. But I didn't know him. And I was saying, but I'm happy here. My mates are here. I don't know if I'm good enough. And he was like, "Son, you've just scored 4 in 45 minutes against the best of our reserve team. Give it a crack." So when I went down to sign, it was that moment that you come in and you don't know anybody, and just pretty much Roy Walker straight away said, "You're going to come and be a part of the first team dressing room. You're going to play in the reserves, but you're going to train with the first team." So suddenly you're then sitting in the dressing room with people like Big Kirk, Kevin McHugh, Glendon Lopp, who was a lunatic, but then found God, but he was still a lunatic. So things that were going on that, you just weren't used to. So, I mean, I remember one of my first nights of training, Stephen Stewart, who was left back. He was a brilliant player, but he was hard as nails. And he hit me in a tackle, and I'm not kidding you. It wasn't a foul. He was just physically strong. And I remember just afterwards, this is different than anything you were used to. The speed at which training was happening at. But people like Big Kirk, I mean, he was absolutely brilliant, because once you were walked through that door and you were a Crusaders player, he would have looked after you in a way that he was your big brother, and you'd been part of his life for 30 years. I remember one time we went on a trip to a European trip to Denmark. We played a team called Celtic, and I was just starting to sort of get in and around the first team. My first season there, Crusaders won the league. I played maybe 12 games. I didn't qualify for a medal, but so we played in Europe, and we lost the first leg 2-1. And you might have seen the goal that Glenn Hunter scored in the home leg. It's one of the best goals I've ever seen, a volley from outside the box. So we went away in the away leg and sort of half fancied with a chance. They beat us 2-1. We ended up losing 4-0. But a day or two before the game, you go away and you're there for 2 or 3 days beforehand, and Roy's taking training and all the rest of it. And I remember sitting around the hotel one day, and I'm sitting, Big Kirk goes, "Mom, we're going to go for a walk." And it was Murray and I can't remember who else was there, Big Livy. And we went for a walk, and straight out of the hotel, it was like, right, we'll find a bar here. So we sat down at this wee bar. We walked 10 minutes, sat at this wee bar, sitting outside, beautiful sunny day, a couple of beers, nothing too hot and heavy. But the next thing, so I'd only, like, say, 18 or 19 at the time. And Roy walks around the corner with the staff, and he looks at the table, and he just looks at me and he goes, "You shouldn't be sitting there with them boys." And that was it. He just walked on. But, I'm sitting having a beer, meant to play in Europe the following day, and I'm sitting with Big Kurt drinking beer, and Big Kurt turns in and he goes, "You'll be all right, don't worry about that." And that was just the way it was. It's a totally different time. I mean, some of the things, some of the stories, you'd almost say that there was, as a kid coming through, if you didn't have a bit of a backbone about you, you'd have been trampled over very quickly. You wouldn't say it was bullying, but you'd learn quickly, that you had to have a bit of a backbone.
Brilliant. What about you, Ian? I believe you have a wee story about FC Haka.
We played Linfield, went into Europe, and I remember we were coming home, Chris, and we ended up going to this nightclub. Afterwards, there was like this festival on in the middle of nowhere in Finland, and I remember getting a plane to fly with 2 or 3 planes to get to this place, and we went into we played the match, and then all of this nightclub afterwards, and there was 2 of us left at the end of the night. Couldn't get a taxi home anywhere. Didn't know where we were. Ended up speaking to these 2 girls, and I said, "We'll give you a lift home." So I thought they had a car. Walked outside in the 2 bikes. I was like, I can't believe this. So I said, "I jump on and I take you in the back." And she's like, "Oh no, this here." And so I was going to get on her back, and obviously we thought I not let him behind me. So she put me on the handlebars. And I didn't know at the time she was a nice skiing teacher. Legs, massive legs, were like something from a bodybuilder. Driving up this hill, pedaling this bike with me in the front, like full steam ahead. Left us with 2 of us, like I see her, on the handlebars. 2 grown men and these 2 girls behind us. Madness. But as you said as well, Chris, I remember going when the Crews won the league, and they paired first to go to McAvennie, and there was Sid Burrows was there, and Big Stanley. Big Stanley went, Glenn Dunlop went, and then you Donald O'Brien. So this real half and half mix of all the credit, all the credits.
This isn't religion here. It's not half and half like that way. It's not pros and Catholics. It's Christians and haters.
Christians and lunatics.
Correct.
So it was like all the people who were seeing, and then all the lunatics. The ones who were meant to be the lunatics were seeing, and all the good. They were mad. They were lifting people on sunbeds, throwing them into the pool that they hadn't even met before. Standing and just thinking this was hilarious. I remember sitting there going, at this stage I was like 17, 18, going, meant to be good living. And they were getting on like these absolute lunatics. But it was, what a trip. 1 week away, and we arrived at the airport, and Roy walked in this wee plastic bag, and to Tony O'Connell, Chris, he was so we arrived at the airport, and all of us could give him spend the money in this free brown envelope at the airport to take away. was only about 35 quid each. Like, that was it. Oh man, brilliant times. But it was really good fun. Good crack.
Absolutely brilliant. So lads, what I want you to do is tell me something that people don't know about each of you. So away you go, Younger, you start.
Well, not a lot of. I'm a massive country music fan. A lot of people think, now I'm probably the older I get, I've kind of sort of gone into that. The more I'm nothing better now sitting down on Sunday night or Saturday night with a glass of red wine, listening to Luke Bryan's or Luke Combs or something like that. I love it. I'm literally morphed into my dad, probably 40 years too early. I would be probably not a lot of people would expect that of me now, but definitely Jimmy Buffett and all those boys, George Strait, just amazing.
So your Raven days are over, is that what you're saying?
Raven days, big box is gone.
What about you, Margot?
Yeah, you asked me this earlier. I was couldn't really think of anything that was going to be. And one of the thing I'm going to say, it's not as shocking as Ian's. That's brutal. How does Debbie feel about that? I feel like I'm going to divorce you here as my best mate, but how does she feel? The thing that struck me, and it's something that I said to you, I read this about myself, I can't even remember where and how long ago it was, but I read, so I was a fan saying one stage that I looked like the type of person that had no interest in football, but I only was involved in it because I was good at it. And when I read it, I just remember sort of half feeling disgusted about this here, because anybody that knows me, as I said earlier, my life has been, I'm completely and utterly absorbed in football, and I have been since I was probably about 6 years of age. So it kind of was one of those things. When I looked at it, when I read it, I was I kind of didn't know what it meant in terms of you look like somebody that's not interested in football. I don't really know what that person looks like. I sort of envisaging like a train spotter, round glasses and sitting on it. Well, yeah, looking at trains going past. But I'm still like a kid when it comes to football, in terms of just my as I say, being totally and utterly absorbed in everything about it, from kit to statistics to analysing tactics and coaching and so many aspects, the commercialism of it, everything about football I'm totally and utterly encompassed by it, and it felt like a real sort of indictment on me that this person suggested it.
What was the biggest slur anybody could have said about you?
Yeah, that's what it felt like, yeah. You could have said a million things that are actually worse, but they wouldn't have had the same impact.
Well, here, I couldn't go off this without talking about our Collingwood Cup win. You have to talk about that.
Is that the one where you came off the bench?
Barry was on Twitter.
You came off the bench. Jim Lawler, now of Manchester United fame, hard to believe that the guy that took us in that team then became also the same man that signed the likes of Vidic and Evra. But he asked you to warm up, and you turned around and said, "Jimmy, I'm roasting," and you zipped this tracksuit off. Is that right? The best bit about that,
the Korean team, who we beat in the last league game.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? It was the coldest day I've ever played football in my entire life, and they won the toss and played against the win. It was like Hurricane Katrina. I've never seen anything like it. So we beat them 5-0 or something, and they got back in, and somebody said that in their change room, "Oh God," he said, "Look, we lost it at the toss." The captain turned around and said, "I won the toss."
Yeah.
They were all standing behind in the final, and Big Jimmy's like, right, we're 0-8 against Cork, and he said, "Warm up." He said, "Jimmy, I'm roasting." You're busting your chops.
You were brought on to take out their danger man.
Touch him. I nearly broke him in two. I was Alexander getting on.
Your whole role was to stop their danger man. You came on and absolutely buried him after about 30 seconds. But the best bit about that trip, and I'm going to bring it up, was that restaurant that you shut down. Jerry, you'll love this here. We went out on one of the nights, and you were a student, so there was nobody was flush. You were maybe down the court with whatever amount of money in your pocket. You had to, I probably had to feed yourselves. But we went out to this restaurant. It was all you can eat for £5. Simba got into that restaurant. It was a pizza place. Fair to say, Simba, they ended that promotion very quickly, didn't they?
You telling people there's posters me the next day in your bar. The best part is big skinny Jim McCluskey had more than me and you put together.
Oh, well, it wouldn't be much to eat more than me. But no, that trip, it always amuses me now the way student football has fallen away, because that was probably one of the best football experiences I ever had. It was a week of football, and the conditions were 90-minute match every day, and possibly the worst conditions I've ever played on pitches that should never have matches be played on. You got the 90 minutes on the last day on the Friday, and went to extra time and penalties. I took a penalty, and I have no idea to this day how the ball went in the net, because it had literally nothing in me to hit the penalty, and it trickled along the ground, and the goalkeeper just stood and watched it go into the corner, and we won. And it you know, I've won loads of things in football, but that would rank up there with any of them in terms of just that experience of good crack. You know, student football was brilliant because there was an element of seriousness to it. And I got the World Student Games off it. I went some great trips. I went to America with Big Lawler, took us to America. And Simba, you want to see Lawler in America? He was unbelievable. But I got to Saudi Arabia on a training camp for the World Student Games. I went to Sicily. So people miss out on brilliant actual experiences and really good sporting experiences. But student football to me, as much as I was about the crack, you know, getting pints at the end of something, you know, was it's pretty much what I lived for back then. So
there was about 16 or 17 of us in the big jacuzzi in the hotel, the Metropole, whatever you called it. We were in the best hotel in Cork, no joke. St Mary's College, they were in a new hostel about 4 streets away. That was the god. Giving out a rickety bus. Where's the big lorry? Everything down to a T, didn't it?
Well, here,
it was brilliant.
Yeah, and he ended up, you know, he was meticulous. It was quite a professional approach for the ramshackle of blokes that were in amongst it. But he then became chief scout of Man United, so he clearly knew something. So, you know, you possibly put him on his road there with that introduction in the 118th minute of extra time.
Did we tell them that, Chris?
It was some crack, I have to say. Really enjoyed it. So lads, this is a regular feature. I want you to tell me who your 4-ball would be if you're going to take the pub, dead or alive. It's not about golf, it's anyone in the world. Go ahead, Younger.
I said Vinnie Jones, definitely. Oliver Reid, because he's the pure mental. Oliver Reid. Who else was taken? Obviously with me there.
Gordy Best.
But
George Best.
George Best would have been a good one as well.
Oliver Reid and George Best.
And then a couple of boys, I didn't know who they were. I think they were country singers.
Vinnie Jones, obviously there, but if anything happened bad, he'd sort it out. It's just, he was a hard man, like, wasn't he?
Yeah, he sorted it. You sorted it. What are you talking about?
No, those days are over.
I remember Margot telling me a story in the toilets in the bath somewhere or something. He just looked around. He went, I don't have to worry here. Somebody said something.
You what?
Chris told me a story one time. He was in the toilets. I think it was in the bath or something. And somebody said something. And you were standing beside him. And you were like, Margot says, I'm going to be okay here. your boy never said anything after about 10 seconds.
I was just misunderstood in the toilets as well.
Brilliant, Younger. So, Chris, what about you? What's your favourite What's your 4-ball?
Well, you give me the opportunity to bring people back from the dead, which was all good of you. So I'm bringing my old dad back. He'd be quite happy because it involves going to the bar. He's a wee bit like Younger was it Oliver Reid and George Best, so he would probably fit in that company. And then I'm going to take it down the road of it's going to be massively influenced by Spurs. So I'm going to have Danny Blanchflower. I'm going to have Glenn Hoddle, and I'm going to have Mauricio Pochettino.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I'd say that'd be some crack.
I don't know if Huddle would fit in the bar, mind you. He probably want to talk about Eileen Drury or something like that there, but I'd maybe get him just to do KP-ups or something like that there, just to show us his skill.
Super. Well, lads, see, before we go, tell the viewers where they can get in touch with your business, Chris, and indeed Ian, your business too.
Well, you can get in touch. My business, Club Sport NI, we're using Profile Tree as well. Just developing our website. You'll find that at clubsportni.com. Facebook, the same, and we're Twitter and Instagram. So anybody out there that's on the lookout for anything new, give us a shout.
And I'll give you a personal plug. I highly recommend the business. Very good indeed.
Thanks, Biscuits.
Ian, go ahead.
Yeah, on Facebook, Facebook page is just Ian Young Fitness, and then on Instagram it's iFitNI. So
iFitNI.
So just a Jerry, there's loads of recorded live workouts in there. So I'll be looking out to see if you're on it. If you're in the mood.
I'll be doing it, and then I'll get him to send some videos of Collie doing it as well. He gets all this bad press, but he is working hard at the minute.
Get that telephone back.
Well, lads, that was absolutely outstanding. Thanks very much for taking the time to come and chat to us today.
Brilliant.
Yes, Ian, thank you.
Guys. Thank you. Thank you.
We'll chat to you soon, lads. All the best. Thank you.
All the best. Good luck. Bye-bye.